Hi, I'm here with Connor from Vendetta, and he's here to show us a nice bike here. What do you got, Connor?
This is a road bike that we designed for a customer in Tampa Bay, Florida. It's got the sloping top tube, so you have kind of a modern look, but we've used the lug set from Daryl Llewellyn at Llewellyn Bicycles. So you get a really nice classic look. As you can see, they're polished stainless, so it's not chrome. The bike also has a carbon fiber edge composite fork on it that we've painted to match.
Nice.
One of the reasons for this particular client why we did the sloping top tube was he's like a lot of ex-racers. He's a little older and a little heavier and not as kind of shape he'd really like to be in.
Right.
So what we were able to do is we were able to move up the head tube a little bit for him and then still provide him with a position that will work for him now. Then as he loses weight and gains flexibility, he can flip the stem over and then even move out to a longer stem. So ultimately, this is a 10 centimeter stem. Ultimately, he should be on an 11 and out here somewhere, but he's not there yet.
Right.
So we're gonna try to make that work with him. On his older bike, he had a 9 centimeter stem and a really high stack extension, which puts way too much weight on the rear wheel. So with moving him out and forward a little bit, we also lengthened the chain stays about a centimeter to move the center of gravity back to the front, so he's not going to wash out on the front wheel, and helps stabilize the handling and still provide a classic racer kind of look. The bike is finished with Camp Magnolia 11-speed gears. The other thing that we did that was kind of interesting on this bike is we ran the derailleur cables through the down tube. So both the front and rear derailleur cables come into the standard cable stop here, and then there's brass tubes that come all the way down into the bottom bracket shell, and they're silver brazed into the bottom of the shell, and there's a slot underneath the shell where both the tubes come out. So we ran the cables that way. It gives it a very clean, very efficient look. And then we also painted the handlebars. The paint, as you can see, is kind of sparkly.
Wow.
And
yes.
it's actually a root beer candy. So it's a chocolate base coat with a root beer tint candy, and there's actually pieces of glass. This is not a metallic and it's not a pearl. It's actually glass that's in the paint. And our painter, Harry Finney, did that for us also. He's also local in Corvallis. Wow. So the bike is finished with Velocity Fusion wheels and rims that were built by the guys at Velocity, and they came out really nice and work really well with the bike. The other thing that's nice about this is that this is not a decal. The logos are all stencils and they're all paint.
Really?
So this is now opening up a new palette for us and being able to choose colors and mix and match things that go with the bikes, and then kind of tying the whole thing together as a package. So what we've tried to do is we've worked really hard to give the person the right fit, give them some really good performance, and give them a bike that will work with them as they move through the process of getting back into shape and getting to where they want to be. So, and that's the beauty of going custom, is you can really dial things in like that and get something that's going to work for you now and work for you in the future.
And that's the refreshing to hear. You're actually the first person who said that. It's not only where you are now, but where are you going to be?
Where are you going to be? Where, you know, your hamstrings are going to get looser. You know, your quads are going to go up. You're going to be able to roll yourself over more. So, you know, as he is able to stretch out, you know, this design will work with him and still provide him an aesthetic that it looks good now, and will look. That's what he's looking for. Because a lot of people, myself included, I'm not as in good a shape or as lightweight as I want to be, and I don't race anymore like I used to in the 80s, but I still want the look.
But still ingrained in your head.
It's still ingrained in my head that
your position in college.
And you know, I can't get there now, But what I found, even on my own bikes, is that if I lengthen out the chainstays a little bit, the stability you get is really, really nice, and you get the center of gravity there, so you get the handling back into the front end, so you don't wash out the front wheel, and it allows you to maintain the look, and you don't lose that. People say, oh, we're going to lose the snap on the hill climb. You know, if I could climb a hill anyway, that would be a whole different situation, But I'm just trying to get to the top of the hill, and then I'll catch you on the way down.
Exactly.
So
a little bit of reality of the current.
Yeah.
And with
yeah, but you have to do that now. You know, a lot of our customers are a little older and they love bikes.
Right.
And it's an opportunity when you go custom to get that kind of fit. And if it doesn't fit and it doesn't perform, it doesn't matter how it looks.
Right.
It's got to be functional.
Right.
And then we'll make it look good.
Right. I can't wait till the sun hits this paint job.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm from Oregon, so we don't really have sun there right now.
Yeah.
But when I take flashlights and I shine them on there, actually it looks pretty good in the lights here, but it is, he had asked for like a bass boat, speedboat kind of finish
I see.
with a really large metal flake, and I said, yeah, I don't think that's going to work very well because the size of the metal flake, you don't want that getting into the shorelines and the lugs.
Right.
So we worked with our painter who developed this process for us and putting the House of Color, what's called, I guess, an ice pearl, which is really a glass into the paint, and I think that really creates a tremendous effect. So we're really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, Connor, I think this is a great glimpse into the thought process that really goes into your relationship with your customer.
Yeah, and that is a one-on-one relationship, and we work really hard to establish that rapport with our clients and our customers so that they really do get what's the best thing for them.
Right. Today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.